Hey there, friends. Hope you are having a good day. While I was thinking of it, I wanted to do part 2 of this video series on pregnancy and delivery and postpartum recovery with chronic pain, specifically my experience with having complex regional pain syndrome and having 2 babies. So the second part is doing birth 1 of my first daughter. And that was in 2017. So this fall it'll be 3 years. And I'm gonna be honest, those hormones that make you forget stuff so you have more babies, they work. Because it's kind of fuzzy trying to remember everything. But I wrote down some stuff to go through with you guys, and hopefully it will be helpful for you. And if you have any questions, of course, feel free to ask. So I went into labor early morning with my daughter, my first daughter, and I was able to labor at home most of the day, and I remember feeling pretty focused and comfortable. It was, from what I remember looking back, it was definitely like I had to focus and think about it. It wasn't, could distract myself with other stuff, but I kind of felt like I was in the zone. For me, what was most comfortable was sitting on one of those exercise balls and then actually kneeling on the ground, leaning over the exercise ball and kind of laying on my hands. We went to the hospital that evening and I was admitted. And I remember that I really struggled to get comfortable and get back in the zone after transitioning to the hospital and it being a whole new environment. And then just because of the nature of a hospital setting, there are certain protocol that they have to fulfill. And so that made it difficult. There was frequent monitoring and checking for dilation and everything like that, which just kind of would disrupt the flow of everything for me. And it meant that I had to spend quite a bit of time being tethered really close to the bed, so essentially I was stuck in bed a lot of the time, which was not comfortable for me at all while I was in labor. And after getting there, on top of struggling to really get back into finding my personal groove again, I started having really extreme hip pain on my right hand side. And so that's actually what I felt and where I felt all of my labor pain versus being in my abdomen or anything. It was just this constant stabbing pain in my right hip, and it kind of felt like somebody was trying to pull my hip out. Warm water helped a little bit with that. I tried getting in the shower and everything, and it would help a little bit, but my contractions got pretty intense and they were right on top of each other. And now that I've had 2 babies, I can tell you that it definitely felt like I was going through transition, because it was just kind of a non-stop deal. And I would have waves of nausea and things like that. But after doing another cervical check, I was not actually going through actual transition at that point. And it had been over 20 hours of fairly intensive labor, and I was pretty exhausted and frustrated at that point. And so we decided that going ahead with an epidural would be the best plan for me, so I could go ahead and get some rest, because I was pretty well spent by that point. And I was very blessed that the epidural did actually work for me. I know that's not always an option for everybody, but for that particular situation, it was a good thing for me to do, and it did work. So I was able to get some rest, and then after about 26 hours of labor, I was ready to go ahead and push. And it took only probably about 30 minutes of pushing before my first daughter was born. And I don't remember a ton about the pushing because I was still pretty exhausted by that point, and it's been a while ago. But I do remember she was a little bit stressed, but I had a doctor that was very good and very excellent at staying calm, and she didn't start worrying or anything like that. We just would take breaks from pushing and let my daughter recover a little bit, and she was born without any other complications. Because she was getting a little bit more stressed when it was time to push between giving her rest, we really did try and push, so I ended up with a 2nd-degree tear. So that meant that I did have to have stitches. Because of the CRPS, the biggest, I guess, factor difference than traditional medical care for moms is that we could not put ice on it, because we did not want to aggravate any of my CRPS stuff. And so there was no ice to help with the pain and the inflammation. So in my next video I'll go into the postpartum recovery, but that was pretty sore, and it took a while to heal. But that was by and large my first labor. I was very blessed that I had a good doctor that I trusted and listened well to special considerations for my chronic pain. And I ended up having a very wonderful nurse who helped throughout the majority of the labor, and she was really good as well. And then I had both my husband and my mom there, who were very wonderful support. So yeah, that was my first birth, and in the next video I'll go into some of the special considerations and struggles that I had with the postpartum recovery of my first daughter. So if you have any questions or comments, please leave those below. And if you have had, if you have given birth to any babies while having chronic pain or CRPS or anything like that, I would love to hear from you. So let me know about your experience. And I hope that you have a good day and that the weather is great wherever you are. We are having lots of rain showers today, actually. So it's been really hot, and now we're getting some rain. So I guess that's a good thing. So all right, I'll catch you later.